Here are the top 10 Greek philosophers, their backgrounds, and their contributions to philosophy. 1. Socrates. Socrates is often considered the father of Western philosophy. Born in Athens around 470 BCE, he spent his life questioning the status quo and seeking to understand the nature of knowledge, virtue, and justice. Socrates didn't write any philosophical texts himself. Instead, his teachings were passed down through his students, most notably Plato. He is famous for the Socratic method, a form of cooperative argumentative dialogue that stimulates critical thinking and illuminates ideas. Socrates' commitment to his beliefs led to his trial and execution in 399 BCE, as he was accused of corrupting the youth and impiety. 2. Plato. Plato was a student of Socrates and the teacher of Aristotle. Born around 428 BCE in Athens, Plato founded the Academy, one of the earliest institutions of higher learning in the Western world. His philosophical works, written in the form of dialogues, cover a wide range of topics, including ethics, politics, metaphysics, and epistemology. Plato's theory of forms posits that the material world is a shadow of a higher, immaterial reality composed of perfect forms or ideas. His most famous work, The Republic, explores the nature of justice and the ideal state. 3. Aristotle. Aristotle, born in 384 BCE in Stagira, was a student of Plato and later became the tutor of Alexander the Great. Aristotle's contributions to philosophy and science are vast and varied, encompassing logic, metaphysics, ethics, politics, biology, and more. Unlike Plato, Aristotle emphasized empirical observation and the study of the natural world. His work, Nicomachean Ethics, examines the concept of virtue and the path to a good life, while politics explores the role of the state and the nature of political systems. Aristotle's influence persisted throughout the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, shaping Western intellectual history. 4. Pythagoras. Pythagoras, born around 570 BCE on the island of Samos, is best known for the Pythagorean theorem in mathematics. However, his contributions extend far beyond geometry. Pythagoras founded a religious movement known as Pythagoreanism, which combined philosophy, mathematics, and mysticism. He believed in the transmigration of souls and that reality could be understood through numbers and mathematical relationships. Pythagoreanism had a profound influence on later philosophical thought, particularly in its emphasis on the harmony and order of the cosmos. 5. Heraclitus. Heraclitus, born around 535 BCE in Ephesus, is known for his doctrine of change, famously stating that you cannot step into the same river twice. He believed that the fundamental nature of reality is change and that everything is in a constant state of flux. Heraclitus emphasized the unity of opposites, arguing that contradictory forces are necessary for the existence and balance of the world. His ideas about the ever-changing nature of the universe influenced later philosophers, including Plato and the Stoics. 6. Parmenides. Parmenides, born around 515 BCE in Elea, challenged Heraclitus's view of constant change. He argued that reality is unchanging and that change is an illusion. In his only known work, a poem called On Nature, Parmenides posits that what truly exists is eternal, indivisible, and unchanging. He introduced the idea that reason and logical deduction, rather than sensory experience, are the primary means of understanding the truth. Parmenides' ideas laid the groundwork for the development of metaphysics and influenced philosophers like Plato and Aristotle. 7. Empedocles. Empedocles, born around 494 BCE in Akragas, modern-day Agrigento, Sicily, proposed that all matter is composed of 4 root elements: earth, air, fire, and water. He believed that these elements are combined and separated by 2 opposing forces, love and strife, which bring about creation and destruction. Empedocles' theory of the 4 elements influenced later scientific thought and was a precursor to the concept of the classical elements in alchemy and early chemistry. 8. Anaxagoras. Anaxagoras, born around 500 BCE in Klazomini, modern-day Turkey, introduced the notion of nous, mind, as the fundamental principle that organizes the cosmos. He believed that the universe is composed of infinitely divisible particles, and that nous is the intelligent force that arranges these particles into the ordered world we perceive. Anaxagoras was one of the first philosophers to bring philosophical ideas from Ionia to Athens, influencing the intellectual environment of the city, and thinkers like Socrates and Heraclitus. 9. Zeno of Elea. Zeno of Elea, born around 490 BCE, is best known for his paradoxes, which challenge the concept of motion and plurality. His most famous paradoxes, such as Achilles and the tortoise and the dichotomy paradox, argue that motion and change are illusory. Zeno's paradoxes were designed to support Parmenides' view that reality is unchanging and that sensory experience is deceptive. These paradoxes have intrigued and puzzled philosophers and mathematicians for centuries, contributing to discussions on infinity and the nature of space and time. 10. Epicurus. Epicurus, born in 341 BCE on the island of Samos, founded the school of philosophy known as Epicureanism. He taught that the purpose of life is to attain happiness through the pursuit of pleasure and the avoidance of pain. However, Epicurus emphasized that true pleasure is achieved through modest living, intellectual contemplation, and the cultivation of friendships. He also argued that the gods are indifferent to human affairs, and that fear of death is irrational because death is simply the cessation of consciousness. Epicureanism became one of the major philosophical schools of the Hellenistic period and influenced later thinkers, including the Roman poet Lucretius. These philosophers not only shaped ancient Greek thought, but also laid the foundations for Western philosophy, influencing countless generations of thinkers and continuing to inspire contemporary philosophical inquiry.